This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The leadership of President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will be put to the test, with both men meeting under pressure not to back down from their positions in a standoff over the debt ceiling. Harris Alec reports the showdown centers on the president's demand for a clean bill that increases the debt limit with no strings attached, and Republicans' demands to rein in government spending in exchange for an increase. Biden's team has been floating the idea of a short-term increase to give the two sides more time to negotiate a broader deal. A senior Republican leadership aide told Harris that a short-term deal might be accepted only if the president signals he's serious about entering negotiations on cutting spending. The current debt total stands at $31.4 trillion, and the government may default on its financial obligations as early as June 1st. Of that number, $6.8 trillion is held by the government, most in the forms of IOUs to the Social Security and Medicare trust funds. $24.6 trillion is held by the public, including foreign governments, mutual funds, banks, private investors, or insurance companies. That number includes $1.1 trillion held by Japan and $860 billion held by China. House Republicans have proposed a new border security bill that includes language prohibiting the Department of Homeland Security from accepting catch and release documents from illegal immigrants to board flights. Stephen Dinan reports Republicans are targeting a Thursday vote on the legislation, timed to coincide with the end of the Title 42 Pandemic Border Expulsion Authority. It would also restart border wall construction, add more Border Patrol agents, reel in the administration's use of parole to welcome unauthorized migrants, tighten the rules on claiming asylum, and push to end the practice of catch and release. The White House said Monday that President Biden would veto the bill. It issued a statement of policy calling the measure too harsh to illegal immigrants because it would cut off nearly all access for them to claim protection in the United States. In many ways, the Russia-Ukraine war is more like World War I with drones and has far more in common with age-old approaches to tactics and strategy than many predicted. Ben Wolfgang reports modern technologies such as unmanned aircraft, communications equipment, next-generation missile defense systems, and social media have played significant roles in the war. At its core, though, the fighting has looked familiar, complete with artillery, ground maneuvers, tank battles, and the kinds of deep trenches reminiscent of the First World War. The U.S. and other modern militaries will surely draw lessons from the conflict, but the expectation that the war will forever change modern fighting hasn't been borne out. And finally, the Supreme Court is poised to again rewrite policy on some of the country's thorniest issues over the next 2 months. Alex Sawyer and Stephen Dinan report the court will complete its term with rulings expected on race, religious liberty, voting rights, and gay rights. The court has heard 59 oral arguments since the start of its term October 1st. So far, it's issued 12 opinions and dismissed 1 case, well off the usual pace of its rulings. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/frontpage or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.